See if he can hear us. Put him on. Uh-oh. Put him on speaker. He's over there. Mr. Woodcock. Did he hang up? Oh, okay.
Okay. One moment.
Mr. Woodcock, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Woodcock, this is Judge Holmes. All right, just hold on a minute. We're in session and cause numbers 328, 126, cause number 328, 124, cause number 328, 128, cause number 328, 194. All four cases are style of state of Texas versus Anthony Craig Woodcock. Mr. Woodcock, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's my full name.
All right, Mr. Woodcock, your attorney, Mr. Charles McIntosh, is appearing via Zoom. Mr. McIntosh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Woodcock, your attorney, Mr. McIntosh, has filed the motions to withdraw off of your case. And he's citing in the motion, or he's stating in the motion, that he's leaving Texas and moving to Montana and would be unable to provide legal counsel to you or to his client. And he's seeking permission to withdraw as counsel from your case. Do you have any objections to Mr. To Mr. McIntosh withdrawing from your case?
Man, I really don't want to change lawyers, but I mean, I guess I need to go to Montana.
All right, now, Mr. Woodcock, Mr. McIntosh, were you appointed on this case?
Yes, Judge, I was.
Okay, so Mr. Woodcock, if you do not have any objections to Mr. McIntosh withdrawing off your case, the court is going to grant this motion to withdraw. Hold on a minute.
That's it.
And you will be appointed a lawyer.
All right.
Okay, just hold on now, Mr. McIntosh, you're released from representation of Mr. Woodcock in these cases. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You as well.
Thank you.
What do I do now?
Hold on, just hold on. We're gonna appoint you another lawyer. Here you go. Now, Mr. Woodcock, the attorney that is going to be appointed to represent you in this case, or in your cases, is Attorney Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas will be sent information on how to contact you in this case or in your cases. And just hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Mhm.
Okay, court is in session in cause number 323-126. Case is filed, the state of Texas versus Lester J. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Lewis? That's good, Mr. Lewis. Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lewis, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, you may put your hand down. Mr. Lewis, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and this information alleges that on or about September 19th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of marijuana. Mr. Lewis, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Lewis, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I have some documents before me. The first document that I have is titled Judge's Explanation of Two Defendants Without an Attorney. Mr. Lewis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And this document, it has a signature on the bottom that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
There's one box that's checked here stating that you want to waive your right to an attorney and to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Also, I have here a waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. Mr. Lewis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lewis, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Lewis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Lewis, there's a signature above the line that is titled guilty. There's some initials on the line that's titled guilty. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, well, on the same document, but on the next paragraph is titled Discovery Admonishment. There are a set of initials on the line, and the initials are LJL. And these initials are on a line that states, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery of the evidence in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Mr. Lewis, are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page, Mr. Lewis, there is a signature on a line that's titled Defendant on a document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lewis, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just went over, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lewis, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, I have before me what is marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Lewis, on State's Exhibit Number 1, do you, this is a document that you acknowledge that you recognize. And on page 2 of this document, Mr. Lewis, there's a set of initials, the two locations that you acknowledged earlier. And on page 3, it has your signature. Okay. And Mr. Lewis, before you signed and initialed, well, the state would like to use these documents as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lewis, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Okay, Mr. Lewis, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 5 days, time served, with court costs to be taxed and retired.
Mr. Lewis, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Lewis, is $337, but you will not have to pay the court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Lewis, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Lewis, this will conclude this case. You can stand on the X in front of the court clerk. Once you finish with her standing in front of the court clerk and following her direction, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay, Mr. Reynolds.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we have, is that Mr. Jose David Bernardino? Can you hear me?
Mr. Bernardino?
Okay, Mr. Bernardino, this is Judge Holmes. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And this is cause number 329294. Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement in Mr. Bernardino's case?
Mr. Bernardino signed a diversion contract with the district attorney on April 7th, Judge, and we'd ask that this court be placed on I guess there's a diversion docket or whatever he can get on after this.
Now, I think what we can do, normally these cases are reset the next day, but Pat Connaught, who handles these dismissals, pretrial diversion case, he was tied up in a trial on last week. And so we anticipate that the dismissal will probably be coming down either this week or sometime soon. And so what we'll do, I'll just reset it 30 days.
Yes, sir. That'd be fine.
Okay, give us a reset date.
May 23rd?
It's gonna be reset.
I didn't know if they were going to dismiss it or wait till he completed the program to dismiss it.
I think they only wait to person to complete the program on those assault, family violence cases or the assault cases. In his case is a DWI.
Yes, sir. Okay. So 30 days should be good.
Okay, so we're gonna reset it to May 23rd of 2022. Mr. Reynolds, your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Jose Bernardino, your attorney and your bondsman will get notice of your reset. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Reynolds, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Nicholas Villarreal or Eloy Hernandez?